All right, good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining us for our online yin yoga. Once again, we're trying to keep the props to a minimum. So if you have a bolster or a couple different pillows, a cushion, or blankets, and you want to grab those and have that ready, you could also grab a chair or use a couch, coffee table, any object that's a little higher off the ground. We'll be using that later in class. And yeah, keep it simple, keeping it light, and that is it. So we'll go ahead and get started. And to start with some grounding, I can have you guys go ahead and start in Shavasana or Supta Baddha Konasana, bringing the soles of your feet together and letting your knees drop out to the side. Just find a comfortable position, whatever is best for you guys. And once you arrive, just coming onto your mat, coming into your practice now. Start to become connected with your breath here. Being nice and slow, mindful inhales and exhales. Each inhale, feeling your chest rise and your stomach fill up. With each exhale, noticing your body become heavier, more supported by the ground. Without altering your breath at this moment, just noticing your inhales and your exhales. Gently start to notice the noises that are surrounding you. Becoming aware of this air that is touching your skin. Seeing any smells. Becoming familiar with your environment. Bringing your awareness back to your breath, back to your body. I found this poem earlier today that I thought was fitting for today being Earth Day. It's called Healing Forest. Come home to the forest, where time goes slow and the breath is mellow, where thoughts find rest and calm comes to nest. Come home to the woods, to be friends with the trees, and to listen to the breeze, to wander through trails and mend your sails. Come home to nature, when your heart is hurting or your soul needs healing, when something feels wrong or you just need a place to belong. The forest awaits. Come home, be healed. Gently start to bring your knees in together if they are separate, and extend your legs straight out in front of you. You're already laying flat on your back. Gently start to bring some movement back into your body, wiggling your toes, Bring your fingers, moving your way up to your wrists and your ankles. Moving the muscles on your face. And then finding stillness with your next inhale. Taking a nice deep inhale, moving your arms above your head to reach towards the back of your room. And exhale as you're flexing out through your palms, flexing out through your feet, pressing your heels towards the front wall, flexing your toes towards your face. And with your next inhale, rolling over to either your left or the right side of your body. Bringing your knees closer towards your chest, using your bottom arm as a pillow. When you're ready, gently pressing your way up to a seated position. And I invite you to find a comfortable seat position, so whether that be on a bolster, a pillow, a different type of cushion, maybe even just a blanket, anything to give you just some extra comfort and maybe a little bit of height. And your palms open, facing down, resting onto your thighs. Trying to bring your shins as close to the ground as you can. Find a nice, relaxed, seated position. Shoulders stacked over your hips, ears in line with your shoulders. Gently close your eyes here. Take two unified breaths together. So starting with an exhale to release any old, stale air from your lungs and from the day. Sealing your lips, take a nice deep inhale through your nose. Gentle sigh release, exhale through your mouth. One more time, deep inhale through your nose. Exhale, release it all out. Coming back to your natural breath, just for a moment. Pranayama I invite you all to use today is called square breathing or square breath. And so for this breath, you're going to be imagining a square in your head. So each breath is going to be for 4 seconds. So you can imagine in your head the left side of a square being your inhale and inhaling through your nose for 4 seconds. And when you get to the top of your inhale, holding it there for 4 more seconds, and that's going to be the top of your square. And then as you exhale, 4 more seconds, the right side of your square. And then holding your exhale at the bottom for 4 more seconds, completing your square. So you could keep it at 4 seconds. You could add a second, move a second, wherever you are with your comfort of your lungs today. And it helps to visualize the square following your breaths. Deep inhale. Inhaling, 2, 3, 4. Holding, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling, 2, 3, 4. Holding, 2, 3, 4. A few more squares with your breath here. It's one of my favorite pranayama techniques. It helps to calm your nervous system, as do most. And what I like most about it is that it also helps you have a better reaction or a less reaction to certain stressful situations that may happen in the future. Anytime you might feel anxious or overworked, stressed out, Using your square breath can help calm your nervous system and bring you back to a balance. Creating just one more square with your breath here. Once you completed your square, just come back to your natural breathing. And gently start to bring some movement back into your body, moving your palms up and down your thighs, creating some warmth. You can gently start to blink your eyes open, but keeping your gaze low, just a few inches in front of your mat. And finding stillness, still keeping your palms facing down on your thighs. Start by inhaling your shoulders forward and up towards your ears. And with an exhale, dropping them backwards and down towards your sides. Doing a couple shoulder circles here, following your breath. Inhale, bring them forward and up. Exhale, bringing your shoulder blades closer and then dropping your shoulders away from your ears. Mindful movement, mindful breath. Inhaling your shoulders up towards your ears and pausing at the top just for one moment. And then switching the rotation of the circle. So now exhaling as you bring your shoulders forward and down. And then inhaling, bringing your shoulder blades closer and bringing your shoulders up towards your ears. Exhale, bring them forward and down. Notice any clicking noises, tapping. Feels a little sticky. Just bringing that blood movement into your shoulders. Inhaling your shoulders up towards your ears. Exhaling, releasing them away and back to this still motion. And then start to walk your fingertips to the sides of your body, kind of creating a triangle, the upper part of your body. Reaching your fingertips towards the ground, maybe creating a little teepee with your fingertips. Make sure that you're sitting up nice and tall. Shoulders stacked over your hips. Take a nice deep inhale. And then exhaling with your left ear towards your left shoulder. With your next inhale, start to hover your right fingertips away from the ground. And then shooting energy out through your right fingertips. And this nice long line of energy from the right side of your head, down your right arm, and then through your fingertips. So actively reaching down with your right fingertips without touching the ground. Just feel some nice stretching along the top back of your arm, maybe inside of your neck. Staying connected to your breath. A nice deep inhale through your nose. Exhale. And then inhale, allowing your right fingertips to reach for the ground and bring your head back to center. And a nice deep inhale. As you exhale, dropping your right ear towards your right shoulder. And start to hover your left fingertips away from the ground now. Once again, finding that same energy shooting out through your left fingertips now. Actively reaching towards the ground without actually touching the ground. Notice the difference between the sides. The different sensations. A nice deep inhale through your nose. Exhale. Inhale, releasing your fingers and bringing your head back to center. This time, taking a nice deep inhale, bring your arms out and around above your head. Exhaling, relaxing your shoulders, but still keeping a little bit of a lift in them. As you actively reach up towards the ceiling, palms facing inwards towards one another. You've been finding a gentle internal rotation of your arms. And then exhale, dropping your arms halfway, bringing them to airplane arms. Take a nice deep inhale, and as you exhale, coming into eagle arms, wrapping your right arm underneath your left arm, and then either pressing the backs of your hands together, pressing your forearms in towards one another, maybe going into the full expression, wrapping your arm or your hands around one another, or simply just reaching for opposite shoulders. Wherever you are with your eagle arms, try to focus on lifting up your elbows closer to in line with your shoulders, and then pulling your forearms away from your face. Sending your breath to the space between your shoulder blades, the upper part of your back. With each inhale, start to notice the upper part of your back filling up. And with each exhale, notice the tension releasing. Your elbows start to sink low. Focus on pulling them back up to be closer in line with your shoulders. And passing your forearms and palms away from your face. Finding some extra space. Take a nice deep inhale through your nose. Exhale. With your next inhale, releasing your arms, bring them out wide like airplane wings once again. Releasing your hands towards the ground, shaking out your shoulders and your arms just for a moment to give them a little bit of a rest. With your next inhale, bring your arms out, around, above your head, finding some length in your spine. And then exhale, bringing them out to the sides. Preparing for eagle arms with the left now. Taking an inhale, sweeping your left arm underneath your right. And then matching whatever variation you took on the first side, or maybe if the side is more open, maybe try to go a little further into your expression if you can. Once again, you could always give yourself a big hug, reaching for opposite shoulders, stacking your elbows on top of one another. You could focus on pressing your forearms into one another, or the back side of your hands. Going into the full expression, wrapping your wrists and your fingers. Once again, sending your breath to the space between your shoulder blades. Sending your breath to the upper part of your spine. Notice yourself slowly surrendering to this pose with each exhale. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale. And then your next inhale, releasing your arms, bring them straight out towards the sides. Taking a nice deep inhale, and then exhaling, releasing your arms down to the side, shaking out your shoulders one more time. Getting a little bit of movement back into your spine. And then you could start to come off of any props you may be using, pillows, bolsters, if you have blocks, blankets, anything that you have, and you can move it to the side of your mat. As you move it to the side, start to bring your big toes together as you kneel, spreading your knees about hip width distance apart or maybe a little wider, and then coming into child's pose. Allowing the insides of your thighs to gently support the outer parts of your ribs. Arms extended forward, reaching towards the top of your mat. Sending your breath to the lower part of your spine now and to your hips. If this is causing too much pressure on your knees, you could always roll up a blanket or grab a pillow and place it between the backs of your thighs and your calves. So right behind your knees just for some extra support, and that'll help get rid of any pressure you're feeling in your knees. Tops of your feet are flat on the ground. Sending your breath to the lower part of your back as you feel yourself fill up with each inhale. And anytime your thoughts start to drift away, thinking about something that you have to do later today, tomorrow, later in the week, bring your breath or your attention back to your breath, back to the present moment. Start to shake your head Side to side, left to right, massaging out the center of your forehead, massaging out your third eye. And finding stillness and taking a deep inhale through your nose. Exhale, releasing. And with your next inhale, start to shift your weight forward, coming into tabletop position. Stacking your shoulders over your wrists, hips over your knees. Maybe shaking your hips left to right. Finding some protraction in your shoulders as you separate your shoulder blades. And as you inhale, dropping your belly towards the ground, just finding a gentle movement. And a few rounds of cat-cow. And finding stillness. And if you have a blanket near you or if you're on carpet, it probably won't matter then. Placing the blanket to the right side of your mat in line with where your hips would be. So the top of the blanket where your hip is, and then extending down towards your legs. And then gently lowering back down to your stomach, laying flat on the ground. Start to gently roll over to the left side of your body. So you could extend your right knee out alongside you, coming into half frog pose. So allowing your knee to rest onto the blanket on the right side. And then you can allow your chest to rest onto your mat. Using your hands as a pillow to support your head. And drawing your knee up to be in line with your hips, and then pulling your heel away from your body, finding a 90-degree angle at your knee. Keep your gaze either straight down towards your mats, or looking at your right leg that is extended, or you could switch your gaze, finding a minor twist in your neck, so resting your left cheek onto your mat. Sending your breath to your right hip. As you inhale, sending your breath to the right hip and inner thigh. As you exhale, feeling your body surrender more deeply into this posture. Releasing any tension that is being held in your body. Feeling completely supported by the ground. Staying with your breath here. And taking a nice deep inhale through your nose. Exhale. And as you inhale, start to slightly shift back onto the left side of your body, bringing your right leg back to center to meet your left. Keeping your hands palm down on your mat, still supporting your forehead, coming into just a belly down Shavasana before we switch sides. You could use your hands as a pillow to support your forehead, or bring your arms down the sides of your body, and then using either your left or your right cheek, pressing into your mat. You can use a blanket on the first side. Start to find your blanket and move it to the left side of your mat now. Once again, in line with the top half of your mat, or top half of your blanket with your hip, and then going down your leg. This time, ever so slightly rolling onto the right side of your body. Start to bring your left leg up as you bend your knee to bring your thigh in line with your hip. And then finding a 90-degree angle at your knee so that your shin is parallel with your mat. And using your hands as a pillow for your head. You're keeping your gaze straight down towards your mat, or you could rest your right cheek onto your mat or onto your hands. Sending your breath to your left hip this time. Each inhale, filling up your lower spine and your stomach, creating space. And then as you exhale, sinking down and surrendering into this pose. Anytime there's a pose that has two sides to it, always bring your awareness to how each side feels, how they differ. Which side seems easier, which side has a little more tension, a little more uneasy feeling to it. That side's usually the side that needs a little extra love. No, frog pose is not a fun pose, but it's so important to stretch the inner part of your thighs and your hips. Just be here for a few more minutes and then we'll be done with frog. All right, taking a nice deep inhale through your nose. Exhale. And with your inhale, start to come out of the pose by rolling onto the right side of your body to bring your left leg back to center to meet your right. Finding just a short belly down Shavasana. One more time here. Resting maybe the opposite cheek down to your mat. Allowing the blood flow to come back to your legs, back to your hips. Curl your toes or lay the tops of your feet flat on your mat. With your next inhale, coming up to a tabletop position. Stacking your shoulders over your wrists, hips over your knees. And then either bringing your legs through your arms or sitting on to one side of your hip or the other and swinging your legs in front of you. Extend your legs straight out in front of you. Maybe flex through your feet, point your toes towards your face. Sit up nice and tall, stack your shoulders over your hips. You could even bring your hands alongside your hips, pressing into the ground to help pull your chest through the upper parts of your arms. Coming to just a staff pose for a moment. Gazing down gently towards your toes. And bring your arms parallel out in front of you, palms facing one another. Take a nice deep inhale. And as you exhale, gently start to lower down onto your back. Moving vertebrae by vertebrae until you reach your mat. And then once you've reached your mat, take a nice deep inhale and bring your arms out around to reach above your head, finding a good morning stretch here. Flexing out through your feet, pressing out through your heels, flexing your toes, flipping your palms to face the back wall and pressing towards them. And as you exhale, hugging both your knees in towards your chest, wrapping your hands around your shins. Start to rock side to side, massaging out your lower back. And then finding stillness. And then bring your arms out like the letter T and your shins to shelf. Start to bring your right knee to go over your left, kind of coming into eagle legs here. So you don't have to go into the full expression wrapping around your ankles, so just more focus on stacking your right knee over your left, and then taking your hands and interlacing your fingers around your left knee. And then you'll be hugging your left knee towards your left shoulder. So you'll feel the stretch on the outer part of your right hip and your right glutes. And finding flexion in both of your feet. Okay, your right hip comes off the ground a little bit. You can pull your left knee as close to your chest as is available, or whatever feels good. If there's any pinching or a pain that does not feel good and it's not a stretching pain, never force it, and you can always come out of the pose and simply just bring your feet to touch on the ground, but still keeping your legs crossed if you can. Nice deep inhale through your nose. Exhale. As you inhale, releasing your arms and uncrossing your legs. Extend your legs straight out, flat on your mats. With your next inhale, extend your arms out and around above your head, finding another big one chest here. And as you exhale, hugging your knees back and towards your chest. And placing your arms out towards the side, finding airplane arms, stacking your knees over your hips, finding shelf with your legs. This time stacking your left thigh over your right. And interlacing your fingers around your right knee to help pull that in towards your chest. Or towards your legs. See how the outer part of your left hip feels, your left glutes, and even the back of your left thigh. Noticing the difference in sides. Which side is easier? Which side you feel maybe a little bit of a more intense stretch? And take a nice deep inhale through your nose. Exhale. With your next inhale, gently start to release from the pose. Bring your arms out to the sides. And you could uncross your legs, bring them to shelf. And then actually just begin to plant your feet onto your mats. And then walk them out to the edges of your mats. So they're a little wider than hip width with distance apart, but still keeping a bend in your knees. Take a nice deep inhale. And as you exhale, lower your knees to the right side of the room, taking windshield wiper with the legs. Inhale back to center. Exhale, dropping down to the left side of the room now. Taking a couple more motions here, following your own breath. Inhale, bring them to center. Exhale, dropping them. Do about two times on each side. Following your breath nice and slow. You can maybe linger in at one of the sides a little longer if that's what feels good. After you've completed the 2 times on each side, finding stillness in the center, you could slowly start to heel toe your feet back together. And then with an inhale, bring your legs back up to shelf. Keeping your arms extended out towards the side. Take a nice deep inhale. And then exhale, dropping both knees to the right, coming into a supine twist. If you have a bolster, pillow, blankets, anything like that, you could use it to support your shins by placing it from your knee to your ankle. Allowing your body to completely surrender and feel supported. Focus on keeping your left shoulder close to your mat. Keeping your gaze either straight up towards the ceiling or gazing over your left shoulder. Focus on twisting from the core, from the belly button. And the left side of your rib cage. Expand with each inhale. And the stretch between each rib. With each exhale, noticing if you could sink just a little deeper into your twist or surrender more into your twist. Start to gently press your triceps into the ground as you engage your core. Inhale your knees back to shelf. And with your exhale, twisting to the left, dropping your knees. Switching over any props you may be using. Or maybe you didn't need any props for the first side and the left side's feeling a little more tighter. Always feel free to incorporate props anytime you need them. This time, focus on keeping your right shoulder towards your mat. Either keeping your gaze straight up towards the ceiling or gazing over your right shoulder. Allowing your body to feel supported by your mat. Allowing every muscle in your body to be relaxed here. Feeling completely supported. Your mind starting to drift, coming back to your breath. Once again, gently start to press your triceps into the ground as you engage your core. To inhale your knees up to center. And then gently start to hug your knees in towards your chest. Wrapping either your forearms around your shins or your fingers, and just hugging your knees closer towards your chest, giving yourself a nice big hug. Maybe rocking side to side, creating circles on the ceiling with your knees, whatever feels good. We'll be moving into our final resting position, our Shavasana. So whatever that may look like for you today, you can either just extend your legs straight, flat on your mats. If you have a chair available, your coffee table, your bed, couch, feel free to keep your legs at a supported shelf, kind of like waterfall with your legs. So you can always use the chair and maybe put a blanket or something on it. And positioning it however you need to support your shins, finding just a slight elevation to your legs, coming into your final resting position. Allow your arms to lay alongside of your body, palms facing up. Allow your fingers to naturally curl. Allow your legs to rest, either supported by a chair, couch, or the ground. And a nice full deep inhale to your nose. And as you exhale, start to notice your body getting heavy, your hips sinking into the ground. Releasing any tension in your shoulders, allowing them to fall away from your ears. Relaxing your tongue away from the roof of your mouth. Finding the slight separation between your molars, relaxing your jaw. Releasing the muscles in your forehead. Releasing the muscles or any tension on the top of your head. Releasing any tension as you slowly start to drift away. Come to the forest. Your time goes slow, your breath is mellow. Your thoughts find rest, and calm comes to nest. Come home to the woods. Be friends with the trees, and to listen to the breeze. Wander through trails, and mend your sails. Come home to nature. When your heart is hurting, your soul needs healing. When something feels wrong, you just need a place to belong. Forest awaits. Come home, be healed. invite you all to stay in your Shavasana as long as needed. We have the luxury of being in our homes, so that could take you well into the night. Whatever your body is calling for. If you're ready to slowly start to bring some movement back into your body. Start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Start shaking your head from left to right. Nice and slow. If you're using any props, you can feel free to start to slowly come off them, move them to the side. Maybe rolling over to either your left or the right side, hugging your knees closer towards your chest, using your bottom arm as the support, as a pillow. Still keeping your eyes soft. Slowly making your way up to a seated position if you're ready. You have nice and tall. Slowly start to bring your hands to your heart center. Send your thumbs into your sternum. Equal pressure between your left and your right hand. Thank you all for joining us for your yin practice this week. Everyone's doing well, staying connected with one another. It's an honor to still be involved with our community. With that, I offer so much love and light to each and every one of you.